Some people don't raise their voice when they're disrespected. They don't argue. They don't chase explanations. They don't try to fix what was never their responsibility to fix. Instead, they slowly become quieter, more distant, more unavailable. It's almost like watching a house turn its lights off, one room at a time, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. Because somewhere along the way, they realized not every guest deserves warmth. Toxic people don't always arrive as enemies. Sometimes they arrive as friends, as family, as people who once felt like home. But over time, their words start to feel heavier. Their presence starts to drain more than it gives. And the person who once stood wide open begins to close their gates, not out of fear, but out of self-respect. Psychology says this isn't a weakness. It's actually a very rare, high-value mindset trait. Society often teaches you that protecting yourself makes you cold, that distancing yourself makes you selfish, that choosing peace over confrontation makes you emotionally weak. You're told that strong people tolerate more, that mature people keep forgiving, that good people don't walk away. But psychology reveals something completely different. Research in emotional intelligence, especially studies by psychologist Daniel Goleman, shows that one of the highest forms of emotional strength is the ability to recognize emotional harm and regulate your exposure to it. Strong minds don't prove their strength by enduring endless damage. They prove it by knowing when their nervous system deserves safety, because the strongest nervous system isn't the one that survives every storm. It's the one that knows when to leave the storm behind. The first psychological trait is emotional boundary awareness. This is the ability to feel when someone is slowly eroding your inner peace, even if nothing obvious is happening on the surface. Boundary theory in psychology explains that mentally healthy individuals maintain clear emotional borders between themselves and others. They don't allow someone else's chaos to become their internal climate. It's like living in a house with strong windows. The storm can rage outside, the wind can scream, but inside there is still calm. Still warmth, still control. Toxic people try to enter through emotional cracks. Guilt, manipulation, obligation. But people with strong boundaries quietly repair those cracks before the damage spreads. The second trait is nervous system protection. Your nervous system remembers what your mind tries to ignore. Polyvagal theory, developed by Stephen Porges, explains that your body constantly scans for safety or danger. When someone repeatedly makes you feel anxious, small, or unsafe, your nervous system enters a defensive state, even if you don't consciously realize it. That's why after spending time with toxic people, you feel exhausted, even if nothing dramatic happened. It's like your body ran a marathon while your mind was standing still. Protecting yourself isn't dramatic. It's biological survival. The third trait is self-worth preservation. People who protect themselves understand one silent truth. Access to them is a privilege, not a guarantee. Self-affirmation theory shows that individuals with stable self-worth are less likely to tolerate environments that threaten their identity or value. They don't beg to be treated with respect. They simply move away from places where respect is absent, like a rare book being quietly removed from a shelf, where it was constantly mishandled. Not to punish the shelf, but to preserve the pages. The fourth trait is energy conservation. Toxic people consume attention, like fire consumes oxygen. They create endless emotional labor, explaining yourself, defending yourself, calming their chaos. But psychology research on ego depletion shows that emotional energy is a limited resource. Protecting yourself is like closing apps running in the background of your mind. Suddenly, your system runs faster, lighter, clearer.